Hey everybody, I'm Eric and I wanted to break down a few things about the real estate market right now. The good news is that homes are actually selling for a ton of money right now. So if you're in the selling world, is great news. The bad news is that homes are selling for a lot of money. So it's kind of a catch-22, or at least that's what we think. I actually went to a lender friend of mine and I said, hey, I want you to help me break this down into real numbers, into a real scenario, and tell me what does this actually look like? So let's just take today's numbers. So we're gonna compare a home today that costs $300,000 in today's market using some roundabout numbers. So let's take a home that costs $300,000. So your home is valued at $300,000. Now we're going to take a conventional loan. So conventional loan typically means you're going to give 20% down in order to have this loan. So you're going to take a $300,000 house, you're going to do 20% down, so you're going to pay $60,000 down. And then let's just say the interest rate for round numbers is 3%. So if we take that number, 300,000, 60,000 down, and a 3% interest rate, it's going to break down like this. So your $300,000 total minus your $600,000 down gives you $240,000. Now, so that's the principal. The principal is what you're going to owe after your down payment. But now there's that interest, which is at 3%. That interest rate is what the bank or the lender or wherever you go is going to be making over the long period of the loan. So in our example, we're going to use a 30-year mortgage, okay? So for that, we're going to be looking at somewhere close to $1,011 for your monthly payment. This is before taxes and insurance, okay? $1,011 before monthly taxes and insurance. So what that comes out to with the interest being paid on top of that with a 3% interest at a $300,000 home is you're looking at about $124,000 in interest. Now what that means is that interest, that's money that you will never see again. That is money that is going into the lender or the bank's pocket in order to fund the loan. So that's today's market, okay? So these houses are a $300,000 house. Now let's say the market goes down and it changes, whether some people like to call it the market tanks or the market drops or the market falls or whatever you want to call it. But let's just say the market goes down and now that $300,000 house is now worth $250,000, okay? We're gonna take the same information, the same loan, the same values, except the house is now worth less because the market has changed. Here's something to keep in mind. When the market goes down in prices, the interest rate typically goes up. So you have this fluctuation that happens like this. So whenever you bought a house a while back, you may have bought it at a cheaper rate, but your interest rate was likely higher, okay? So what we're looking at now is we're looking at $250,000 house. It's the same house, but it's gone down in value. So now it's like, oh, I'm ready to buy now because that $300,000 house is now only $250,000. But what you have to account for is the interest rate. So now we're gonna look at that $250,000 house and say, now the interest rate is now 5%. On our $300,000 house, it was 3%. Now we're looking at a 5% interest rate, okay? So $250,000 at a 5% interest rate on a 30-year loan. Now you gotta think about the down payment. So the down payment's $250,000 at 20%, we're at a $50,000 down payment. So your down payment's less by $10,000. Now what is our monthly payment? Our monthly payment here is gonna be $10,019. So it's actually it's already $8 more than what it was at $300,000, and it's because of the interest rate. Okay, now let's break down the total of what that looks like over a 30-year period. So now we're going to be looking at a total interest rate of around $177,000 paid over the 30 years just to interest. So what that comes out to is about a $52,000 difference in buying a $250,000 house in the market that is to come with higher interest rates versus buying a $300,000 house in today's interest rate. So you're gonna be spending $52,000 more dollars, using our scenario here, in interest. And again, remember, interest is money you will never see again. It's money that goes to the bank, to the lender. It's not money that is being put into the equity of your home. So that is something to keep in mind when you're looking at do I buy a house now or not? Because I know the typical thing I've heard when I'm talking to people about selling their home is, well, if I sell, I've got nowhere to go because I'm not going to buy a house in this market. The thing is if you break it down like that and you take what has traditionally happened where prices go down, interest rates go up, interest rates go down, prices go up. If you take that same line of thinking and you look at it for the future, it may be a better idea to buy a home now in today's market with interest rates where they are versus what could be to come in the future. So that's just using roundabout scenarios from a lender that are actually broken down like that. So I just want to encourage you to take those numbers and really just kind of crunch it yourselves and decide, hey, do I want to take the equity out of my house now where the market is really high and I can make a lot of money on my house, and yes, I'm going to have to turn around and spend a lot of money to buy a new house, but it may work out in your favor depending on the interest rate that you're able to get. If you're buying it with cash, it's a whole different scenario, whole different story. This is simply for the purposes of anyone who's going to be doing some kind of lending like that. There's also many other types of lenders that and programs where you can do where you don't have to do 20% down, so don't be scared of that number. But that is a conventional mortgage and what that looks like. So if you have any questions, I would love to help walk you through this process, and we can actually run some real numbers on your home, what you could make on it today in today's market, what the value of a home that you may want to purchase in the future may look like, and we could really sit down and break this down. So I would love to do that with you. It would be my honor to do that. So I hope I get the chance to do that with you, and all you gotta do is just reach out to me and we'll make it happen. Talk to you later.